Our last dog of the show is Thor. He is a 2-year-old Pit Bull Terrier mix. And once again, like a couple of the other dogs that we had, he may be a familiar face to you. Thor's going on about 70 days here at the shelter, and in my opinion, he is one of those dogs that gets overlooked too. When you're an employee here at the shelter, you want to see homes for all the animals that come through the door, but over his time here, Thor has become one of my favorite dogs just because of him being well-mannered. He's social. He is very gentle when he comes out of the kennel or if you're putting his harness on him. He does great with other dogs in the shelter. He often is one that our canine enrichment team will use to parallel walk or socialize with other dogs. He just has a really great personality and a great temperament. He has also benefited from some outings. The canine enrichment group that I mentioned, they actually take dogs out on the town, if you will. You may see them walking around downtown Frederick or Baker Park. They take them to Home Depot and places like that, just to get the dogs a different perspective than the shelter, but then also possible exposure to an adopter or something like that, just to show that these are just normal dogs out on the town, that there's nothing special, dangerous, or they're not wanted because they're here at the shelter. So Thor was brought to the shelter just by circumstance. It wasn't his fault by any means. Where he was living, his owner had 2 pit bulls, and what they told us was that they were not allowed to have 2 pit bulls where they were living. Now, I don't know if it was because of his breed and his dog friend's breed, or if they just weren't allowed to have 2 dogs. So they chose to give Thor up, and basically he's been here ever since. So, you know, if you're looking for a young dog that you can play with, hang out with, but also he'll lay down and sit beside you on the couch if you want to relax, he's going to be a great match for you. What we hope to find him is that right mix of a home that he can have enough playtime, but then also just relaxing. We do have a restriction on him with younger kids, and he hasn't ever become dangerous or mean or anything like that. When we processed him, and that's when we move an animal to the floor, he did not like being restrained, which a lot of animals don't like being restrained, and we are just somewhat fearful if a young kid tried to hug him too hard, if it was a strange kid, that he may not like that, or he may show some signs, growl, or those kinds of incidences. So basically, he'd do well for most families. We're looking for a family that has kids 8 and up.